that you are an urban farmer. You've been growing your own vegetables. I've been looking at those videos and pictures for years now with absolute envy because it's something that I really want to do but haven't gotten around to doing yet. But this time, during this lockdown, I've become so acutely aware of how important and urgent it is for us to also start urban farming, to just be able to start growing our own food as well. बोलो बोलो
So,
farmer कैसे बने?
पहली बात तो Dia, first of all, I'm in huge admiration of you. You're one of those people who actually walk the talk. I have seen you get involved with environmental activities, and not just a pretty face trying to promote a cause. You've actually dived into it, and I've seen all that you've managed to achieve. Truly envious and a lot of respect for what you're doing. I love to see people who actually mean what they say and say what they mean, and you're one of those ladies. That's phenomenal. Secondly, yeah, I realized I have a friend of mine who actually got this, the greenery bug instilled in me. He has a house in Malaysia that I used to play. I'm a golfer, so we spend a lot of time in nature, anyways. But when I saw what he was talking about, I felt very excited because he said there is a process
When
called
was this?
hydroponics.
When was this?
This is about eight years
When
ago.
was this?
8 years ago, in about
Okay.
2002, 12. So he said that there's a process called hydroponics where you can grow plants without having the requirement for soil. You don't have to actually need soil. You can grow it with water and put nutrients in it. For me, being a science guy, I'm like, oh, is that ever possible? And I did my research and I realized it was kind of possible. And it was actually quite a amazing way that a lot of people who didn't have fair weather throughout the year were growing vegetables. So I decided to see if I can do it in Bombay, if I can start a hydroponic garden on my terrace in Mumbai. And so I got the things that they were supposed to
It's
do.
my patch of envy. Full
Yeah,
envy.
yeah. So I started it. I fumbled and found it for a bit, but over a period of time, I got this set up and I got the nutrients I needed, and I started growing it. And then when the plants started to grow, and through hydroponics they grow faster, I was like, is this right? Is there something wrong with what I'm doing? Because you can't help nature grow faster. And then I realized that maybe some of the stuff that I'm putting in the water as nutrients are not are synthetic. So I decided to go for organic, nutrients to be put in the water. And I can't tell you how nature was just looking for a chance, just a little bit of love and care. And by the end of 5 months, I had capsicum, I had onions, I had garlic, I had 16 different types of tomatoes, I had muskmelon. I'm sure you've seen the videos. Watermelon. I had a rich gourd. We had snake gourd. We had kundru, cauliflower,
Chilies?
broccoli,
Did you
all
grow
growing.
chilies, hari mirchi?
Chilies are
Hari
chilies are
mirchi.
actually जो हम बचपन में ना जब हम बाहर मतलब बर्तन धो के वो बर्तन धोने वाला पानी ऐसा फेंक देते थे ना उसमें जो चिली का बीजा था उससे प्लांट उग जाता था यार दिस टू बी सो पोटेंट हमको अभी
करी
उगाना पड़ रहा
पत्ता,
है
करी
करी पत्ता
पत्ता
हाँ ये सब तो ऐसे ही उग
और
जाएंगे आप
पपाया. पपाया भी बड़ी
मैं
आसान
अब मेरे घर पे उगता है ये पपाया अभी वो जो गार्डन देख रहे हो पीछे में सारे पपाया से मतलब
Now
ऑल द
you've
पपाया ट्रीज
converted
आर देयर
all your balconies into your urban farm
yeah
over
so
the
I am
years.
very excited so and then मैंने एक बात I learned something which is very important you've got to eat seasonal vegetables so don't eat genetically modified vegetables that are provided to you through year round. There's a season to eat capsicum. There's a season to eat brinjal. There's a season to eat lady's finger, aubergine, everything, And if it's the right season, oh, pach bhi jata hai. It digests beautifully. It doesn't stick to you. You feel better. Don't feel, so I have become a fan of urban farming and also rural farming. And I think by growing my own plants and at least 60% of my
Own food.
vegetables grow, own food. So be it herbs, be it salad, be it vegetables or fruits. More than anything, my respect for the people who actually grow it, the agriculturists, the farmers, that's just gone through the roof. And I've been trying my best to see what I can do for them. So much so that I've actually experimented with farm
Yes, I'm going to talk to you about that in a bit. But before we get to
coconut.
your farm, before
So,
we get to the
mhm.
farm, I want you to share with us how many like at an average, you grow your vegetables in hydroponics on your terrace. On an average, how much produce do you get? Like, is it enough for you all to cook like a full meal regularly, or do you still need to buy from outside? What's the like
It's in a, our
ratio of that?
household consists of about, yeah, so our household consists of about 6 people. And I grow enough vegetables to feed us for at least 3 to 4 days in a week. So we need to supplement
Wow,
that. Yeah,
Maddie.
yeah. So we eat. I mean, be it
I have like
bitter
a
gourd.
background score, Maddie. Maddie. Oh, oh, Maddie going on right now for
I
what
get so
you just
embarrassed.
said.
Yeah,
No, it's amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing.
So I used to put my, the daily harvest, as I used to call it, on my Instagram, and then people started following it, and people are now growing it themselves. It's fantastic, fantastic. And you learn how to take care of it. You realize you don't need insecticide. You can just take neem oil and spray that. It works as good as an insecticide. You don't need to put natural, chemical fertilizers. You can use natural produce. You can use,
Exactly.
compost, all that, how to make it and how to use it. Really phenomenal.
It's amazing. And I'm totally going to do this, and I'm going to totally take all
Any
the
help you need.
pointers that I have to from you
Sure.
to get this going. Because now I'm like resolute. It has to happen. It's
Yeah.
on top of my like things to do in life. Maddie, how does Vedant respond to all of this? I think when parents set an example through the actions and the choices they make, it inspires children in unique ways. And I know for a fact, I mean, the science says it, psychologists say it, that when children engage and interact with nature, it has a very profound impact on their mental health, positively, obviously, on their physical health, on just the kind of human beings and the kind of values they imbibe and have. Have you noticed something that you would like to share about Vedant?
Yes, of course. We've always been a household of animals, and we've kept animals that have largely been discarded by other people. And so Vedant has had the privilege of growing up with dogs and parrots and stuff like that that we've managed to rescue. And I think we've learned more about how to be humans from our animals. And it's an amazing lesson for any child. You see your parents and your mother and father go through the stress of life. There are arguments, there are fights, and there are debates. But you could get angry with your dog in the morning for being a naughty boy. You come back in the evening, he's forgotten all about it. He's still wagging his tail and he's telling you, hey, I'm there, give me a hug, I'm right there for you. It's such an amazing lesson to let bygones be bygones and move on with the people that you love. It really don't carry residues of any argument or negativity along with your life. I think Vedant has hopefully imbibed that. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but I do know that my son loves animals,
He's
and
a
I
great
think
kid. He's
God's
one of the
grace.
most compassionate, beautiful boys ever.
Yeah, thank you. I
Trust
think that's all credit to Sarita. I just do my philosophical talking in front of him, and I hope he imbibes what I'm talking. But I think I've become. I wish I could be a better father, but I take my time to spend, as much as I can with him, talking about what I have learned and what, you know, kind of stuff that my dad taught me. I remember, I remember this is going to be very strange, but I remember when he was 6 years old, he sat me down and he said, "Papa, I want to talk to you." And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Papa, you're not spending quality time with me. This is not fair." And I said, "Come here. What do you mean I'm not spending quality time with you?" He says, "Where did you learn this quality time period? Where is this? Which serials are we watching on 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 the platforms to understand this word called quality time that you have to spend with your father?" I said, I can't take you fishing. There is no fishing here in India right now, in Bombay. And my father never spent great quality time with him, but I love him, dear. Okay, he used to spend just the right amount of time when he had the time, and he imbibed in me the kind of qualities that I have today, and I love him. And I said, Vedant, if you can love me half of as much as I love my father, then I will be privileged. Please remember, it's not quality time. Don't let Western philosophies make you feel inadequate. I'm there for you. If you need me, I'm going to be there for you. And there are things that you have to learn on your own. So please do that. And I think he understood. There was something crazy about the way he looked at me. And he said, "You're right, Papa." And we've never had that conversation after that. He knows that I work and my job takes me around the world and do what I do. And so there is a huge, and so I think that ability to understand and what I was trying to say comes from the fact that he understands how animals are. So, we go out for a holiday, maybe we've gone out for a month, and you come back and we start away in the same manner. The dogs don't get upset at you for not being there for 25 days. They just pick it up from where they are, and they show you that it's possible to be even more happier with what we have right now. And I think I would highly encourage everybody to take up pets in who are rescue pets if possible, and they will teach you amazing things. And I have a lot to learn from animals, and I think Vedant has learned a lot.
Oh, most definitely. I think we all learn a lot from animals. Um, and especially when we can rescue them and bring them home. I think
Yeah,
adopting pets is like the most amazing thing.
yeah,
Both of you won PETA uh, Person of the Year, People of the Year, right?
yes.
Vedant's won it as well in 1 year, and you have
Most compassionate kid. I think
most compassionate
what
kid.
Vedant used to do for the first 10 years of his life is he never celebrated his birthday. Whenever he did, he would ask his friends to donate the money to Peter instead of giving gifts. So I think they kind of appreciated that.
Okay, you and Sarita are
Yeah.
just gorgeous, and this child of yours is even more beautiful.
God's grace, yeah,
Um,
God's grace, yeah. Fingers crossed.
so, what led you to? I know you were very inspired by the plants you were growing, the food you were growing at home, and that obviously made you a lot more sensitive to a farmer's life, a farmer's plight.
Hmm.
And then that led you to turning a farmer yourself, like growing in a larger piece of land. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so there was a barren piece of land in the south of India that we had
I
seen,
think
and
that's a key word. I was actually trying to jog my memory about what you shared with me because that's what fascinated me the most about it. That it was a barren plot of land that you took up as a challenge. And you said,
yeah,
I'm going to
so
work on it.
yeah, so although it was sold as a farm, it hadn't been nothing had been cultivated for 20 years, and it was close to a good source of water, and it was. I was wondering why people were not growing things, and things around that area were, as it is, kind of dwindling in terms of agriculture. So we decided to test the soil, for the alkalinity and see what kind of a composition the soil had, and see what would grow best. And we decided to see if we can grow coconuts, and that to native coconuts, which can grow at a lower height and have a year-round harvest if possible. So I tried to identify things that will grow and started experimenting. And soon enough, in about 3 4 years, we suddenly realized that whole place was lush green. We realized that we can grow coconut trees and grow vegetables under it, and what kind of vegetables grow better, and which vegetables help in the coconut growing better, and which coconut sapling is best for growing with herbs or with salads or that kind of stuff. Which fruit trees complement each other in terms of their growth and what they contribute to the soil. And I realized that you can create an ecosystem that can be hugely beneficial to the farmer. There was no doubt whatsoever that I did spend a lot of money on it, which normally a farmer may not be able to spend. Okay, but for me, it was an experiment to show that the land is capable of producing this.
Yeah.
It was a and so if somebody says, was it a profitable venture? I'm not. My point was not to show if it was profitable. Honestly, my point was to show that if people believed in it, if the government believed in it, you could make a fertile land into a flourishing, luscious, green, environmentally correct sort of a piece of land that will eventually turn profitable to any farmer who follows the process. And we are still experimenting. We're still in the process of it, but I got to say that we've got spectacular results.
And it's so exciting that you're doing this because this is really where we've come from. Traditionally, this is how we farmed, and it's time that we go back to this kind of farming because industrial farming is creating all kinds of chaos, as we know.
So the
So
best
this
part is,
kind of farming,
yeah, sorry to interrupt you. The best part I forgot to tell you. The best part is, so now all the surrounding farmers are now taking interest in their own land. People who had just bought it and left it there because it's barren in their opinion. they all came back and says, "Hey, so how did you do it? Like, how did you, make sure that this happens, and how did you, source the water, and which solar fences are you using, and which solar, energy source are you using? Which kind of fish are you putting in the pond so that it, the nitrogen balance is maintained?" So now they're learning and they're imbibing and they're doing that. So now the whole area is beginning to flourish, and that was beautiful for me to see.
That's the best part. That is just so
Yeah,
amazing. And I hope the
yeah.
government is equally inspired, just as your
The
neighbors
government
and
has been,
hospitals.
yeah, they've been good. They've been honest. I mean, to tell you that they are. So we don't take any subsidies in our farm, thankfully, because I've been blessed with the money. We don't need that. But they're actually, the government has done great amount of jobs in trying to make sure that everybody gets electricity, that there is a process in place for you to get your, fertilizers from them, and make sure that there's a process of taking the coconuts and all that. Actually, they're doing it. We are an agricultural country, and I think the more technology that we're able to take to the farmers, I think with the more stronger a nation will become.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the more balance we will be able to bring. When we talk about the sustainable development goals, this is actually such an integral part of bringing back that balance. But it starts with that relationship, which you have illustrated, walked the talk, lived the truth, lived by example. You keep
Yeah.
saying these things for me, but I think it holds so true for you as well, Maddie, in so many ways. You're just so special. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ha! Should we go on? We can talk forever.
I know. I mean, I think
uh,
one of the things that we must address in this process is Rehna Hai Dil Mein, because I know that people have been dying to see us on screen. I can see the messages just relentless. But I think we haven't found a
it's
story yet. That is,
amazing.
yeah.
It's
And
there. We found the
yeah,
story. It's there.
good.
It's
Yeah. I can't
being
wait to see it.
it's being cultivated.
Yeah. Yeah. It needs to be then.
It's there. It has. I
Uh,
mean, we have to work together, and we are going
I
to make
know.
it happen. This is a promise we made to each
Y-
other. To everybody who's asking us why we haven't done a film together yet,
Yeah.
please know that
We're doing our best.
we are doing our best, but also we will only work together when we can give you our best.
Yeah.
Because there is something so special about Reena and Maddie and the connection that people have with Reena and Maddie that we wouldn't want to, dilute the opportunity anyway.
But tell me something,
Because
Dia.
it's just, yeah,
Yeah. Are you surprised by the amount of messages we get about RHTDM even now? It's been close to 19 years, and somehow I'm just inundated with the songs and the scenes and the dialogues every day on my social media. Does it happen to you as well?
mhm. It's overwhelming, Maddie. It's actually very interesting. A very senior actor had once told me that blessed is an actor who is known by the name of the character he or she plays.
Mm.
And even more blessed is an actor when people recognize you across ages and over a period of time by a film that they instantly connect you with. And I think Lehna Tere Dil Mein has been that for both of us.
So for me,
Uh,
I can
and
understand. Yeah, go ahead.
and just even now, like during this lockdown, there are so many people who are singing the songs at home. They're dancing. They're sharing videos. It's just so wonderful. And I think there is a naivety, there is an innocence, there is an honesty and pureness that we shared in Hena Tere Dil Mein that resonates so deeply with people even today.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I
also,
wish I
there's a
knew.
whole generation that was very young when they watched this film, and now they're like in their late 20s, mid 30s,
Well,
and they're like expressing and discovering their
I'm trying
love.
to tell you, I'm trying to tell you about people who were probably not even born when Anathara was released, and now they're fans of it. I mean, I just saw these messages coming up saying I was a thought in my parents' groins when Anathara was released. And then for it to make sense to them, I wish I knew the kind of responsibility that we had when we did the movie. Maybe we would have done a better job of it. At least I could have done a better job of it. I wish I knew that
No,
this is the impact it is going to have, and it's for me
but that's the
it's very
beauty of
humbling.
it. I feel our rawness, our,
Yeah,
like I said, it was all of that. Just that raw abandon and
yeah,
that honesty that connects with people.
yeah, man.
And now, though, I think with our life experiences and our film experiences, hopefully we'll be able to do better justice.
Yeah, or else we shouldn't do it. I know. We
Or
have to.
as
We
you
have to.
did.
Yeah, leave them with a good taste and and a yearning as opposed to oh, chalo bichare yaar, बहुत रह गया ना. हाँ, वो नहीं हो सकता.
No, no, hopefully that would happen.
Dia,
Maybe soon.
what drives you? I mean, I know you've asked me questions, but I want to ask you. You're just such a breath of fresh air every morning. You're out there. You seem to have a different source of energy compared to the rest of us. How do you manage that? I mean, all the goodness around you. See, I can make out it. I mean, that glow around halo and energy of good forces around you is so evident. What do you do?
Oh God, Maddie, you're embarrassing me. I'm like blushing.
But it's
Uh,
true.
I don't know, Maddie. I think I've never allowed resentment and bitterness to enter my heart. I always trust everybody, and I trust the universe. I just do. Um, and I keep life simple, you know,
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
um, stay rooted and connected to the core. Just find ways to reconnect with myself. I have I have lots of friends, but I have friends who come from varied fields, diverse walks of life, who keep me connected to reality. I work with organizations that keep me so in check. My reality checks on a daily basis are like intense because of this work. I think all of that, a combination of all of that. But I think most importantly, I feel like when your heart is open and you're willing to live and love and learn every day, you do.
I think you're very modest, and I think a lot of what you've achieved is a product of your upbringing. I'm sure your parents would have imbibed all that in you, and as a result of that, the positivity is just radiant. So continue to be this charming for us. You'll always be a source of inspiration for a lot of people. I can see the comments below, and it's just going crazy, and they all want to know your secret now. Yeah,
Ah, my secret is just love.
yeah, good for you.
Only love. But Maddie, we have to like wind this up now. It's been over half an hour, and I can talk to you, like I said, forever. And I'm sure everybody's felt equally inspired and motivated by what we've shared, managed to share today in this very short period of time. Leading up to World Environment Day, I'm hoping to have more conversations like this because I think it's very important for people to recognize that you don't need to be a botanist, a biologist, a scientist, an environmentalist to form a better connection with nature and just live with a little more balance.
Right.
And I think these conversations will help and are helping people. They're definitely helping me. I'm learning a lot. Every time I connect with somebody I admire and I know and I learn something new, I'm actually also glad that we didn't kind of talk about what we were going to talk about because it's made it very organic. No pun
Right.
intended.
Yeah, yeah, and I just want to say one last thing before we wind up. I know that it's going to be a very changed world when I get out there, and I'm going to say what I am going to do. I don't know if that's an advice, and I'm not in a position to give advice to anybody right now. But I do know that everybody's going to come from a great place of stress. This 3 months has broken a lot of people, has made them insecure about the future. You and I included. And
Of
I
course.
realized that, yeah, and I realized that when we go out, the one thing that will be most welcome, and I think the biggest important thing is huge amount of compassion. Is having to let people vent out what they're feeling. They're not able to vent out at home, so they probably vent out at you. They'll probably vent out in public. They'll probably, feel insecure and angry when they meet. All I want to tell you all is that be aware of that, and just be compassionate. Not
Yeah.
everybody has been dealt the same amount of cards. So I've decided to be even more nicer if I can. I want to be even more accommodative if I can of people's eccentricities. That's going to become evident in the first few days after lockdown has been removed, and you try to struggle back to normal lives. And I think it's very important that people get aware of that. Just be assured, just be aware that your the people who are going to come to work for you, your domestic help, your drivers, they're all insecure. They've just had a traumatizing experience, much more than what you've experienced. And compassion is the order of the day. And I think we can quickly, go back to normalcy if we exercise that bit of understanding.
Oh, absolutely. Compassion when we come out of the lockdown, and more compassion even now, like right now, through this time, towards other people and towards ourselves. I think it's very important for us to remember that we shouldn't be hard on ourselves because this is
Yeah,
a challenge. And I'm glad you brought this up because it is Mental Health Week, and many people feel hesitant about connecting and reaching out to ask for help. Please, guys, please reach out. And I hope that in a small way, Maddie and I have been able to bring you some happiness, some joy,
yeah.
and thank you, Maddie, for being a part of this conversation.
Dia, thank you. Pleasure entirely mine, my lady. You're such a darling. The pleasure is entirely mine at all times.
Give Sarita and Vedant and parents, everybody at home, and the dogs, give them a big cuddly hug.
I will. It's hot, so yeah, I definitely will. I will do that. And thank you so very much. My love and regards to
They
everybody at
were
your place
so.
as well. Huh?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Bye, Dia.
everyone, for joining us. You want to
Thank
say
you.
something else? Give them your love. Give them
Yes,
kisses.
just
I don't
just
know.
lots and lots of love, and see you guys very soon. I'm going to do this more often now.
Yay. There you go.
Okay. Alrighty. Bye, Dia.
Thanks, Maddie.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was so special. Yeah? I'm going to wrap this up now. It's been a 38-minute, very beautiful conversation. Maza aa gaya. Maddie, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein will always be very special. And for all of you who joined us, for the love of Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, for the love of Maddie, for the love of Hina, for the love of nature, thank you. I hope you have a safe, happy, and positive week ahead. Lots and lots